we were trying to look at all these different ecosystems, and we're researching like the impacts, all these different impacts on it, right? So one of them was deep sea. The response we were constantly getting was, it's outside of the Ngoli area where they have customary fishing rights. You know, this is government owned, so you have no right there. Communities don't have a say there. The government decides, you know, like that was the narrative we were getting, and I was like, really, that's interesting, because everything that happens there, the impacts will come inshore and affect communities. You know, it's not like the marine ecosystem is static, it's fluid, everything's interconnected. So you can't really draw a line and say this happens here and it doesn't affect you because that's where your jurisdiction is, and then expect the environment to listen to you. The environment doesn't understand these boundaries. It's fluid, it's connected.
The Pacific is suffering from the detriments of development, which is climate change. So when people from the outside come to the Pacific and say, this is development, this is good for you, we look at the rising sea level and this is supposed to be good for us too. So I'm glad that rethinking and shaping the Pacific we want is causing us to ask questions of this. If I was going to do this to the ocean, will my fish like it? If I was going to do it on land, will my tree or the other animal, will they like it? These are the questions that become final questions as opposed to the human rights-based approach.
Exploration licenses that have been given are very close to the Great Sea Reef. This raises major concerns for us because this is Fiji's fish basket. It's where we eat, you know, it's where we get our food from, and it provides livelihood. So we're concerned that exploration blocks are very close to the Great Sea Reef.
Deep sea mining is a way for people to make profit. Who are these companies? Where do they come from? They don't come from the region. They're here to make profit from our resources, as they've done for other regions. Why should they, who live in other regions, in the comfort of their homes, come here and pillage our resources, leave? What will money do? It'll only last for a short time, and then when the next generation comes, they'll ask us, what did you do? We did nothing because we wanted the money. That's what our answers will be. So no, we're not willing to allow that to happen in our region.
From what I understand about deep sea mining is that you have these nodes in the bottom of the ocean, you know, these vents that has all these minerals coming out of it. So they want to take a pipe and put it down these vents and then pump in all these chemicals and then start extracting all the minerals in the water, right? And they're like saying, oh, it's okay because nothing lives down there. But when you study the deep sea, you'll see that these nodes are actually where all the life is, you know? And if we don't understand the connectivity of that with our inshore, with the land and everything else, how can we confidently say it's not gonna affect anything?
Nothing good comes from these types of industries. Nothing good has been gained, has ever been gained. Those sorts of development options can't be transplanted into smaller nations like ours. The impacts will be felt immediately.
If there's a low level of awareness in governments, in agencies, and even so in companies, then, you know, we can't go ahead with deep sea mining. Deep sea mining cannot take place until people understand free pre-informed consent, and they understand that they need to be informed of all the impacts, both the positive and the negative. When they understand that, then they'll say, okay, we'll weigh the pros and cons and say maybe yes or no. And so if they don't know what the framework is, then you can't go ahead with deep sea mining. Deep sea mining cannot take place if people don't understand what FPIC is.
Our appeal as voyagers would be to speak with our Pacific leaders to look at how we utilize the ocean in a more sustainable manner and to move away from extractive industries and focus on opportunities where the environment is an integral part of how we develop as a region.
We do not know enough about seabed mining. What we know is little. The basic position is, could be on that, because I don't know enough, I might as well don't touch it.
We don't have enough information, it's unknown, and this is a threat.
We should look at any other option possible. That seems like sounds like it's very lucrative, if it's something that they're really pushing. But we can't just say yes to it without considering all the other options, because the other thing is sustainability. How sustainable is it?
I'm asking the government, leaders of our government, do the right thing, value the responsibilities that have been placed on them by their people, and seek out their people in decisions or in proposals that could change or alter their lives. And the Pacific Ocean is a big component of who we are as Pacific Islanders. You have to ask people about what this project means. If you don't do that, you have failed us, you failed the next few generations.